Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Waka from ASIJ, and this website, exam.net, is what we use a lot for different assessments, either test in class or for placement exams for students coming into ASIJ. So I thought I'd give you a quick rundown on how it works, so then when you enter, it's not unfamiliar to you. You know what's kind of going on. So your teacher or whoever your proctor of your exam will give you an exam key. So when you come to the website, you can just say, I'm a student, and you can put in the exam key, whatever it is they give you. And you can, once you get in there, it'll ask you for information. I'm just going to put some initials, but you would put your full name so that we know who you are, and fetch the exam. And when you get in here, you'll, I already used these before. I'll do a double up then so they'll know. Okay, so when you get in here, there is not really a timer on it, but your teacher will have a time, or your proctor will let you know, that kind of stuff. But what I really want to go over is the format of this. So you can see at the top, the test will be in PDF format. This one is just a practice test, a fake test that I made up so we could look at it. It just has 3 questions here. And then down below here, you have your writing area. So this middle bar, you can move up and down. So you can, if you want to have more writing or you want to see more of the test or whatever. So you have that. And this is where you're going to put your stuff for the test. So you just start writing in here. The first one's multiple choice. So you can just type number 1 and then say, best answer for this would be B. So you just type B and you're off to number 2. If it was multiple choice, you just continue A, B, or whatever the answer is. You'll see that I put some free response on here though, right? So on number 2, for free response, it says write the equation of a line that's perpendicular to this. There are different ways you can answer this. You could, and I'm going to show you the tools that you could use. You could just write it and just say y equals, and I know that this is perpendicular, so I need a -1/4 slope, and then I have to figure out my y-intercept, so I might do that by hand. It's probably like you could actually kind of write out your work like this and say like step 1, and then step 2 is putting in, need to use the 0.41, so I'm going to put in 4 here. Oh, I should have put in 1 for y. And then have plus b, and then maybe comma, and then solve that, right? B equals, what's that going to be? -1, you add 1, you get 2 equals b. And then I can put it all together for my final answer. Y equals -1/4 x plus 2, right? And then that would be enough. You could do it that way. But there are tools that you can use. It has, if you look over on the left, these are where your tools are. And it has formula sheets in there you can look at, right? Some different formulas. So if those are available to you, you can look in there for some help maybe. It has all kinds of stuff for statistics and geometry and all kinds of stuff for algebra. There's a calculator that'll pop up here on the side you can use as well. So that's another tool you can use. And then there's this, I'm going to skip decimals for the second, but there's a drawing tool here. And in the drawing tool, it has different functions to it as well. There's just a pen, so I could actually just write my stuff out. Y equals -1/4. It's a little cumbersome and it doesn't look very nice, but that's okay. We don't care. As long as we can read it, that's fine. And you can kind of do this and write it out and then do your work here. 1 equals -1/4. Sorry, that might take a little while, but that's okay. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done, and we can see it. You can show your work this way. And then 2, we figured out that maybe that's not very nice. 2 equals B, right? And then you can get your final equation and write it out. Oops, that's not very nice. If you have like a trackpad or something, it'd go a lot better for you. But I'm just using my little pad on the laptop, which isn't the best I can do, and that's fine. Hopefully, this is just clear enough. And then once you have it, make sure you push save. Right? Now there are other tools in here. There's like, if you're doing some kind of geometry thing or something, there's polygon tools that you can use to draw stuff, right? Get out of that. Go back to the pen. But once you're ready, you just hit save, and it'll say this is what you want to put in there, and you say okay. So if you go back over to show your exam, that stuff that you draw is now part of your exam, and then you can go below that and start writing, number 3, and continue. Let me see what else we have though. You have things. There's supposed to be a formula. Oh yeah, right in here. You can see there's a little thing here for writing expressions. So let's say I wanted to do that kind of work, but I want to do it right in here. Then this will pop up, and you can start writing things out. Oops, equals, and see there's a fraction bar. Oops, I can go -1/4 x plus my b, and I should be able to save that then. Right? Okay, and then I can continue, right? So it's kind of a little nicer, but it gets the same job done as this does up here. So either one is fine. This just looks a little nicer. If you're comfortable with that, you can just hit the right expressions, and you can use that here, okay? So you might want to play around with this ahead of time so you're familiar with it. Okay, and then you just keep going, and the page will extend as far as you need, that kind of thing. All right, so there's different tools. Those are really good tools. The equation bar and the drawing tool, it's a good place to start for sure. Now, on the next question, number 3, I said find the intersection between two equations. I said do it algebraically first, and then verify your answer graphically. So I might, if I want, I could use this tool first and just write things out. Like I'm going to set these equal to each other and solve for x, right? Because I'm looking for the intersection. So I might just show my work by showing that I'm making those equal to each other. That goes in. In a new line, I'll continue on maybe. Actually, can I just continue right in there? Yeah. Let's see if I can make a new line on that. Oh, lots of tools, isn't there? Maybe not, but I can just go to the next line then if I want, and work that way. Put another equation in. Say, okay, now let me raise this up so I get some more room. Too much going on. There we go. So I can show that, if I, add 2x to both sides and then subtract 4, I will have 4 equals 4x. Right, so I can do that. And then in the next line, show that I get x equals 1 and put that in. Okay, so that becomes part of my exam, or of my test, right? Now I wouldn't be done, of course. I'd have to plug that back in. So I have to put that into one of the equations and get an answer. So y equals -2 times 1 plus 8. It doesn't matter which one I use. And we know that's going to equal 6. Right? So that should be my intersection, 1 and 6. And I can just type that in, maybe 1 comma 6 is my answer. Intersection point. Okay, but I need to verify that. So let me go to Desmos and graph those out. So I have these 2 equations that I can graph out. Whoops, I guess I need to see it, show exam. So maybe I want to copy these, or -2x plus 8. Okay, Desmos. -2x plus 8. So I want to have that. I'm going to hit enter. And then my other equation was 2x plus 4. So I'm going to type in 2x plus 4, hit enter. And then I can see that intersection right there and kind of verify that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So you can see 1, 6 really is. So I'm going to take a picture in the graphical view. And now that should have been placed in the writing area. You see my pictures in here now. So that's part of my solution. Oops. I want to undo that. Okay, so that would give you a kind of a full way of writing out your exam. There's different options, and as long as you get your work down, it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you can show your work and show your answer, then you'll be good to go. And your proctor will always be there, so you can always pop out and ask your proctor for help if you need it while you're doing the exam.